Slept on Cinema is sponsored by Training Ties, the ultimate shoe tying tool. If you know someone who's struggling with shoe tying for any reason, Training Ties is the perfect solution.
The deaths are almost herded onto the screen like a flock of sheep, making the end result mind-numbing.
Unconscionably sadistic, even by genre standards.
If the final destination is what horror fans want these days, be very, very afraid.
The filmmakers forgot to include a story or characters, so there's nothing to do but sit around and wait for various objects to fly out of the screen.
Reheats the package of fate and premonition with snoozy panache.
The movie plays like a video game with no more humanity than a joystick.
A tired imitation of the first film in the series.
Roger Ebert, 1 out of 4 stars. If the movie were marketed as a comedy and everyone who went to see it knew it was a comedy, it might be a big hit.
Welcome to this week's episode of Slept on Cinema. I'm your host, Stan Steamer.
And I'm GrobeStreet.
And this week we're getting into the 2009 horror classic, anxiety classic. I'm not quite sure. I feel like it is horror, but horror doesn't quite get you all the way there. The Final Destination, also known as Final Destination 4. This movie was awesome. I'm shocked that any movie in this series qualifies. I think this is the only one, which it's still excellent, absolutely excellent film. This movie, like all movies we review on this podcast, are at or below 50% on Rotten Tomatoes for both critics and audiences. And we structure the podcast so that the first half is spoiler free. Then we take a break, go watch the film, and talk about what we just went through.
Rotten premise. After a young man's premonition of deadly car crash helps saves the lives of his peers, Death sets out to collect those who evaded their end. Critic score, 28%. Audience, a little bit higher at 35%. I think we're getting it again. I think we're in the 3D zone. I think we might get to do this because of some of the 3D stuff, which kind of makes sense since this is the lowest rated of all of them. I wonder if it's get caught up in that weird 3D world with poor ratings.
Yeah, and I wonder if the 3D stuff, because I feel like there usually was an upcharge, right? You go to the theater, you pay a little bit more. Maybe once you're paying that upcharge, you're feeling like you need to get your money's worth or something like that, as opposed to just a great movie in the series. But the audience just makes no sense. I mean, the critics, yes, fine, whatever. That this type of movie is not something that critics are supposed to just gush over. But audiences, this is the fourth in the series. You know what you're in for, and it's great.
Yeah, it's
exactly what it's supposed to be. So I don't really get that. I mean, I will say it's not the best in the series, but it doesn't have to be the best in the series to be an awesome movie.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny with the audience. This is the lowest audience, but I'm sure we'll get into this, but it's the highest grossing.
Oh, yeah.
So as much as I hate it,
makes sense of that. So that's a good segue. This movie came out August 28th, 2009. At the time was the highest grossing. I think now it is the second highest grossing of the movies. Opened number 1 with 27.4 million. And it took down a really remarkable thing it did. It took down Inglourious Bastards after only 1 week in the number 1 spot. So this took down a Tarantino. So kudos to them for that. And this is another movie that really did well internationally. So I think these type of films, horror, a lot of times does. Domestic overall took in 66.5 million, international 120 million. So worldwide, you're looking at $186.5 million on just about a $40 million budget. So this movie crushed. I mean, we usually talk about what would make this a blockbuster, but this is a bona fide blockbuster and made massive amounts of money. This was the fourth in a series of 6, one that obviously just came out, Bloodlines. And it was a little interesting. The idea for the first movie came from the writer who heard a story of a woman who was on vacation, and her mom calls her while she's on vacation, I think in Mexico, and says, "Don't get on the flight tomorrow. I have a really bad feeling about it." And then the woman doesn't. She listens to her mom, and then the plane crashes. So he heard this news story and was like, this is the most obvious movie I've ever heard. So no idea if that's actually true, but I feel like it is, so therefore I will trust that it is true. The other little tidbit, the first movie originally written to be a script of the X-Files. It was going to be an X-Files episode, which is interesting. I feel like it definitely has some of that sort of Twilight Zone feeling to the whole series. And I feel like in the 90s, 2000s, the X-Files was the modern day Twilight Zone. So I feel like you could have those, this would have been a great X-Files series, but I think his friends and whatnot convinced him that this is more than an X-Files episode. Let's turn this into a film. And really glad he did, because that first film was excellent. The whole series is excellent. This film is excellent as well. And I also think it's interesting that it kind of created a new genre, or I guess subgenre of horror, right? Like, there's no killer or monster. We don't actually see death, which is effectively the monster here, but we never see death. We get sort of a breeze from time to time, but you never see death. And you also essentially know what's going to happen in all of these movies, especially after the first one. And that doesn't matter. It's more about how we can delay the inevitable and how the inevitable is going to happen rather than what actually it's going to be. So it's a whole new thing. It's rare that you can create a whole genre this late stage in a genre. I mean, horror's been around forever. And I think this series really did something new.
Yeah, it really did. It's funny. You're right. Like, when you think of like the bad guy or the villain or the monster, it's just a gust of wind, or just and it's also even scarier because we all picture it's death. So however you want to picture death, that's what's coming for you, which is almost even scarier because you never get to land on what it is. And it's always coming in different ways. It's really cool. It's almost like the chill from Day After Tomorrow, which was like the villain in that movie, where you couldn't see it, but there was like stuff that could show that it's there. It's kind of like, that's really cool. But definitely a whole new genre. And like you said, the kills are coming, so it's not about that. Sometimes it's like it's almost like a canvas they give you. You'll see in the beginning, we'll get to it, but like there's a couple scenes where they know what's going to happen, and it gives you this great like picture of the scenery to be like, all right, it's going to happen here. And it shows you all possible outcomes of things that might be involved that kind of stand. Yep. And it's up to you to be like, whoa, is that going to be the thing that kills them? But you never quite know. So that's kind of cool too. Like, my wife said that too. Like, everyone just wants to watch people get killed in this. And yes, but there's like 1,000 different ways that they don't get killed, that they could have been killed.
Yes.
By, which is the fun part, that it's like, yes, there's a kill, but there's so many ways that it could have gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they figured out that rhythm and the pattern, the formula, and it's great. Yeah. It's so, for something where you know what's going to happen, big in broad strokes, to still be that engrossed in it and entertained, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's almost partly like Hurricane Heist. We get the movie and you get the elements, right? And
yes,
and I just see that there's some like, you're going to get the kill, but now we get to have the elements of whatever domain we're in for that kill, whether it be, I'm not going to name the scenarios, but we'll get to it during the review.
Yeah.
What happened to Bolos?
Yeah. And it's sort of, as you were saying, there are so many things to look for in this film because of the way they set up each of these set pieces. It's just, I feel like each of these could be like a puzzle. Like, I would just enjoy doing a jigsaw puzzle of each of these scenes that they string together.
And we're also a fan of
a lot of bolos.
And we're also a fan of fan service too. I think, and this movie's great for if you are a fan of the prior Final Destinations. It's like the more you're into this, the more you're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Bolo, I'll go first because this was awesome for me. Bolo 3D intro graphics. You find out right away it's a 3D movie.
Yes. I'm gonna put this out there in case people have some concerns about this, because I was surprised when it came out. Bolo, the N-word, that was kind of a shock to hear in a movie like this.
Yeah.
So it happens early. If you want to mute the TV at some point, it happens early on. But yeah, Bolo, the N-word.
Bolo, the number 180. It appears in a lot of the movies, and be aware what section they sit in amongst other appearances of the number.
That's a good one. I like that. We mentioned this before, but briefly, Bolo breezes.
It used to be a thing to indicate someone who's a jerk, but now I guess it's just accepted. But BOLO, someone with earbuds in with a cord in public. I don't like that.
Yeah. BOLO, a $6 movie.
Oh.
Those were the days.
BOLO, knowing someone's going to die based on their actions.
Yes. This is something I've never seen replicated in person or on film. This is a first experience for me. BOLO, someone smelling a pretzel. Never seen it before. Don't know why it happens.
BOLO, Emmanuel, not in space for the second time. This person, if you were familiar, might have been in Paycheck. Her name is Krista Allen. She's near some tampons.
I will say BOLO coins. It's a major coin motif throughout this film.
BOLO, an oddly placed rubber ducky.
This is something that I feel like maybe is more of a late 90s, early 2000s reference that I don't see that much anymore. But BOLO, a Funyuns reference. Do they still even make Funyuns?
I don't know, but I thought they made them for a while just for silly references. But
yeah, and they got one here.
I don't think so. BOLO, I wonder where this goes in our list of these slept on history. But BOLO, an amazing flask. You'll see it.
Yes, you will see it. Amazing flask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like our movies probably have a pretty high degree of flask usage relative to the average movie. Seems like that comes up a lot. I don't know what that says about our selections. BOLO, I've never seen the sign before. BOLO, a spontaneously combustible sign. Kind of don't know why you just have a bunch of things that are spontaneously combustible lying around. But
there's a lot of them. It's very things.
Good thing you have a sign.
BOLO, big drinks. Lots of big drinks in this movie.
Yes. BOLO, and these are coming back, apparently, but BOLO frosted tips.
Oh, were you a victim of frosted tips in your youth by any chance?
Yes and no. I at multiple times just bleached all my hair. So at the end of growing it out, you'd have frosted tips, but I would just go the whole way.
That's a good move. I got them frosted. In sync, frosted.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
I think I'll resist this time around, but we'll see.
You say that now.
BOLO, short-sighted hubris. It always makes me laugh.
Yes. BOLO fans. A lot of fans in this movie. Probably more than the time we did the movie The Fan.
BOLO, just jerks in the crowd. There's a bunch of jerks around in crowds in this movie.
Yeah. BOLO, and I was a little confused by this in my first watch, but BOLO, a throwback montage to earlier elements of the earlier films.
Oh, good one. Yep. BOLO, a clear rivers water sign, which is a shout out to a past character.
Yes. BOLO, a 3D movie reference within the film of a 3D movie.
That was good. BOLO, 3D premonitions.
Yes, definitely. BOLO, a loud elevator conversation. I can just imagine that's one of your pet
I
peeves.
cannot stand it. It is, and the worst part is, if someone's doing it to me, I've been in situations where someone's talking to me loudly and there's other people in there, and now I'm complicit. And so now I'm part. So and then if I stop them, then I'm the jerk who's like overreacting to the loudness. So I just stand there getting red in the face until everyone thinks I have a problem.
Yeah. What is the move there? You're really painted into a corner.
Just freeze and fume. That's what I just get upset. I just sit in there and there's nothing I can just wait for it to end and then get off. That's about it. But I'm not conversing very well because the whole time I'm thinking this is too loud.
Yeah.
But that's everyone, I guess. Yeah. BOLO, I think this was referenced in the Always Sunny episode in the water park. I think there's a reference to that scene that happens in this.
Nice. BOLO, one of my favorites, a blowtorch.
Oh, good one.
Love a good blowtorch.
BOLO, finishing somebody else's sentence when you're not even talking to them. It's very funny.
BOLO, toenails. It's real up close toenails.
BOLO, people being difficult with their feet.
A lot of foot stuff, I guess, in this movie.
A lot of foot stuff.
This, I guess, will be my last one. I feel like I could go on forever, but BOLO the Mall. It's always great to see the mall.
Ah, that's a good one. Nice. We had this in the last one, so it's only one, but a pamphlet and lots of dead drivers in a pamphlet.
Yes.
Too many.
There's an eerie pamphlet.
Yeah. Last segment before we move on to getting to watch the movie is what drink to pair with the movie. I had to include some blue curacao in this one.
Fantastic.
I posted this on our feed on Instagram if you're curious, but the name of this drink is called the Pool Drain. It'll make a little bit more sense at the end, but it involves 2 ounces of blue curacao, 1 ounce of vodka, 1 ounce of coconut rum, 3 ounces of pineapple juice, some crushed ice, and garnish with some red gummy worms. In a tall glass served with
It's the gummy worms.
Yeah. And I think they made sure to say a wide straw, too. Maybe a metal wide straw to have it with.
Mm-hmm.
But the gummy worms help. That's called the Pool Drain. I think that would be perfect for this movie.
Yes, that is an excellent drink. It's the gummy worms really set it over the edge. And I think that, I can just imagine watching this at like a drive-in theater, just gulping down some of those, like people walking around with trays of these things, just serving them up. That's an amazing drink. Mine is, I guess, less specifically and explicitly tied to the film, and I've done this before, and this is not an original Stan Steamer here, but I'm just saying, crack open whatever it is that you've been saving for best in your house, whether it's that nice bottle of wine, that nice whiskey that you've got in the back of your cupboard that you're saving for who knows what. Because this is one of these movies that's death can come for you at any time. And if you're always saving the best things for, whenever, you're not going to enjoy them. So I say, this is one of these movies to just enjoy. And I say, rip open that bottle that you've been saving and just have yourself a night.
That is perfect. You never know when the end is coming. So have the best now. That is a perfect choice. All right. On that note, enjoy, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, enjoy.
We have to get out of here. We're all gonna die, all right? There's gonna be a crash.
Have you lost your mind? You saw it before it actually happened. We're alive, and so are a lot of other people.
I keep having these visions. I see how the next person's gonna die.
What do you mean, the next person?
Survivors in the accident.
What if we weren't meant to survive? What's gonna happen to us?
I think we can stop it.
Slept on Cinema is brought to you by Training Ties, the ultimate shoe tying tool. If you know anyone who's struggling with shoe tying, Training Ties is the perfect solution. Or if you know anyone who just doesn't like tying their shoes, Training Ties keeps shoes tied all day long. Say no to Velcro and yes to independence with Training Ties.
Welcome back. That was awesome.
So much fun.
These movies are all awesome. They're fantastic. I don't know. Have you ever just watched all of them back to back?
Nope, I have not. I think I didn't make it past the third. I don't think this was the first time we watched it that I watched this.
They're all fantastic. They're all great. A lot of things to draft for. I will say, just a heads up for our listeners, our superlative this week is going to be favorite death scenes. So you might notice that some of these scenes are not appearing in the draft. That is not because they are excellent. It's because we will cover them later on in the show. But for the draft, I feel like I don't have a one of one overall number one pick. But I'm gonna take something I usually take. This is a pretty common pick. Maybe you see this coming. I'm taking the opening scene. And this is something that's a great thread throughout all the Final Destinations. And this one is fantastic. But it sets the movie up so well. Especially if you've seen a few of these, all right, we're getting introduced to all the main characters all right then. And they're all going to die. The process of meeting the characters were great. It was funny. And then the deaths were fantastic. They were gruesome. They were in your face. They were bloody, but in like a fun, bloody way. you got introduced to some real asshole characters that you knew were going to get it bad. And again, it just sets you right up. It sets you up well for the movie right from the get-go.
That was my number one pick too. The first opening scene, and right when that hit, and it's like, the part that I love is just how like poetically perfect it was. It just popped on the screen. It's like the sun is shining, the families are having fun, this cold beer, American flags, hot dogs. It's supposed to be the best day of their lives. And everyone's just, and you're just like, wow, fast cars. This is going to be amazing. Because you're always curious, like what that, it started with an airplane crash and everything else. And I think there was a car wreck, and you're just not good on the highway, but you're just not sure how the big opening scene is going to go. And once you just saw that poetic, perfect day with high speeds and tires and kind of a ratty course,
yeah.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
In a pamphlet of like dead people who had driven on that course and no one caring. It was just like, like you had said, we get just enough taste to make enough villains in the crowd to hope that those are the people that get it, and they do. It was just it's everything you wanted. And so much happens where you can like figure out how to unwind it in the moment. It was just the perfect opening scene. Great choice.
And I feel like we're not the ones that would know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is NASCAR and stock car racing still a thing? Because that was huge for a very long time. And I know F1 has really maybe eaten its lunch, but like, is that still a thing? I never hear about it anymore.
No clue. I got to imagine that we're on that track. It's in Mobile, Alabama. It's probably still going on.
Yeah.
But I don't hear much about it. I talked about this in the beginning, but it's just, I also talk about it so much in all the movies. It's kind of like my, the Hot Tub Timey tension of knowing that's what this whole movie is. Yeah. So Hot Tub Time Machine, the guy's going to lose his arm. You know he's going to lose his arm. And part of the fun is just every single time something close happens, you're like, is this where he loses his arm? And that's like another little side journey throughout the movie. And I just love it. And this whole movie is just presented with scenarios where it's just like, is this how he's going to die? Is this, and then it's, a shoelace in the escalator, or coin drops in the water, or some other kind of scary scenario, a little ominous. You're like, this is going to be it. Or he goes into the pool. Something's going to happen, but you don't know if it's going to be the diving board or it's going to be the drain. And then you start picking, and you get to do all that fun in your head. So I think just the tension where you get to play around in your head before it happens is like my favorite part of this movie and all the movies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think that's sort of the key element of this new genre. When we kicked off the show, we talked about this being a horror movie or an anxiety movie or whatever it is, but that's exactly right. It's a tension building movie. And that is, I feel like, where they really carved out their niche. It's like horror tension.
Yeah, absolutely. My second pick, this is tough. I thought I had my 1-2 pick. I didn't think you were going to go for the opening scene. That was a good one. Oh, I'm just going to say I didn't get to experience it, but I would say seeing this movie and all these movies in the theater in 3D, it said that 70% of opening weekend was 3D showings. Like, that's the way to see this. This, like, time, we've talked about this before, just to see these movies when it came out, especially when it was a time when everyone was going to the theater. So you have a packed house, everyone's got their shades on for the movie, and everyone's excited. Like, just that experience where is lost on us now, the communal, not even the communal experience, but never mind the next level of like communal X-ray experience, which once again, they showed us that in the movie. And you just see, it's fun to be in a movie and everyone's like Motion Odyssey movie in Natick. Everyone's moving their head and reacting the same way and pretending along with the movie. It's just a fun way to experience a group event. So I think going to those events, I had gone to, I mean, I'm sure you had too, X-ray movies back, and they're just a blast.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's, because that's the whole thing. You go to the theater, it's a shared experience with a bunch of strangers who have the same idea to see this movie. And it's like you add the 3D element, it adds a movement element, because you find yourself sort of zagging out of the way of the snake that's coming out of the screen or the spike or the tire or whatever it is. And it's just fun. It's fun anytime you're part of like a crowd reaction. And I feel like that 3D element just amps that up.
Absolutely.
What am I going to go do with my second? I am going to go with, I don't think this is creeping on our superlatives category, but I'm just going to go, and this really, it goes to your tension point, but I'm going to go with the fake outs. And then maybe it's the same as the tension. And if it is, that's just how great of a thing it is. But all the elements in the scenes that don't kill people. There's all great details. It's very much, yes, as you mentioned with the Hot Tub Time Machine. Is this going to happen? Is it going to be that? Is it going to be, the escalator, the fan, the nail gun, whatever it is. There's just so many elements that get you thinking, and they start the gears turning in your mind of how this might go down, and then it's something totally different. But I love the fake outs.
The fake outs are good. It's it gives you a little opportunity to have, like, the book is better than the movie because you got to imagine what had happened. You got to do both on this. You got to imagine, it gives you time, and then you get to see the payoff. So you got a little combo of book and movie at the same time with the fake out.
Yep. My third pick, I'm going to go with just this sort of concept of these sort of popcorn horror movies that are still rated R. I feel like there was a while where these were getting turned down to being PG-13. Yep. And I'm not talking, like, when I say popcorn, it's like, I mean, it's sort of like the fun gore. It's not like Saw. It's not some of these things that are clearly R, but this is R. This is like a fun R and a fun horror movie. And it's like really my kind of horror movie in a lot of ways. And I hate when they just dial this back to a broader PG-13 audience, because I feel like you don't get as, you get the little splashes of gore. It's like the pool scene with the like guts flying out. Like that's probably not going to happen in a PG-13 movie. So you get some of those elements that they easily could have dialed this back to be PG-13, but they didn't. And I'm glad they didn't, because it makes the product just excellent.
It's part of why I like the beginning of Drive Angry, the last movie, where they started off with like blowing the guy's hand off. You just know, like, all right, we're not going to do, sometimes those PG-13 movies are just like, they're straddling the line too much. And you just need, it's too many shadow games and like what happened in the background. You don't get to see it. We're watching the movie. It's clearly a horror movie. We're all adults here. Let's show some blood and guts. I totally agree. There was a weird era where it feels like Katie Holmes was in like a bunch of movies that were like PG-13 horror movies. And you're like, I don't know who this is even for.
Right.
It's not for me.
Right. It's like, are there all these like 16-year-olds that can't see an R-rated movie that just need to, that are shelling out millions of dollars for tickets?
Yeah. Good choice. My turn. I will take, let's do it. The Clothes, 2009. The fashion was really fun in this. Being from that era, it's nice to see some pop collars and like Jersey Shore frosted tips, Ed Hardy. There's a bunch of weird scarves and bedazzled jeans, and even like some of the shoes and stuff. You just like, oh yeah, I still have that. That's in my closet. Some Abercrombie is still around. It's just a fun little glimpse into the era, and they went hard into that.
Yeah, that's a great pick. It's great too, because like we talked about, some of these things are coming back now, but I feel like for both of us, that was a very like important time of our lives. So to see that reference back up, and it reminds me of a piece of advice I wish I gave younger Stan Steamer, because I feel like I don't have as many of these items as I should. But my advice, and to all our listeners as well, is never get rid of your weird clothes. So if you have anything weird, hold on to it. And I'm not saying don't donate your clothes. Like you should always be like thinning out your wardrobe. You shouldn't have too many clothes. You should donate all your stuff to a worthy cause, because most of the time, if you haven't worn something in a while, you can always get it back if you need to. But the weird clothes, you will regret getting rid of your weird clothes at some point.
That's the only stuff I've ever move to move. That's the only stuff you ever look for. The stuff that you can buy at Target or whatever, it's you don't need to bring. You don't need to bring along with you. But that weird stuff, that's a great one. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the only stuff you look for.
Hang on to that.
My sleeper. Oh, this is easy. Standing in someone's way. You should never. Should never happen. And there's so much of that in this movie. So many people have to be warned to get out of the way. I cannot even understand anyone who is standing up. So much in this. I mean, so much where they have to be told to stop. How are you not aware? Maybe that should have been an pick, but I'm glad that you know what? It got called out multiple times, so I'm taking it because these people need to be yelled at.
Yep.
Down in front.
Yep. I have a couple. I'll throw them in because I had a couple anti-picks that fit right in with this. So I'll hit these, then come back to my sleeper. But wearing a big hat to a sporting event?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
What movie is that? It was a big, gigantic cotton candy. What movie is that? Movie or gigantic cotton candy? It's Super Troopers, maybe? That's what it is. Yeah, you're sitting in front. You can't see. Like, clearly you can't be at an event sitting in front of someone with a goofy hat.
Yeah, I was at a Celtics game last year, and there was a grown man, and I guess we were playing the Dallas Mavericks, but he was wearing like a giant cowboy hat. And I was just like, guy, the thing was probably 18 inches off the top of his head. It was huge. It was horrible.
That's insane. Should be thrown out.
Yeah. You should be. My other anti-pick, and this is along the same lines, but people that don't know where to stand on an escalator. Like you stand to one side if you're not walking, and you make sure there's enough room for people who do want to climb the escalator. Make sure there's space, and you can't clutter the whole place up. I feel like I lived briefly in the UK. Everyone there knows how to ride an escalator properly. It's beautiful. But here in this country, you end up with just people taking up the whole thing. Or some people are on the left, some people are on the right.
What if I want to take 2 steps on and then get on my phone and just put my arms out? Should I just do that?
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing for everyone.
It's brutal.
So awful. That's a great answer.
All right. So my sleeper pick, get to this quick, is there was just a really, really fantastic excuse for getting out of work in this movie. There's the guy at the salon.
I did this. I drew that out too. Yep.
It's, he didn't show up to work at the salon because the guy was dragged down to the street and murdered in front on his street. So this is not even a family member, not even anything. It was like his asshole neighbor from down the street, who I'm sure everybody disliked because of who he was. But that's his excuse for not coming in. And it's so specific and so strange that no one can possibly say anything about it, which is the perfect kind of excuse.
Yeah, they're like, can I still get my haircut? I think I can take this one step further of disconnect. I don't think he lived on that street. He's not even a neighbor. He came to attack the other guy. He's just a random guy who showed up on the street. He's not even, so that person doesn't even know him. So that just means someone died on your street. I don't think you get to call out when someone dies on your street. I had that bolded being like, I didn't know where to put it, but yeah, that's absurd. You cannot call in. But then I was like, well, they're working at a salon. They didn't want the night shift. They just use this as an excuse to call in that someone just died on their street.
Yeah.
And it's so
like that guy went out, had a late night and was like, oh man, I can't go in.
Yeah.
Here we go. Perfect excuse just landed right in his lap.
It's so fantastical. Well, it'll get the person off the phone, and it would require a callback being like, wait, so yeah, someone died, but how does that affect you again? Get in here. That affects me the same way as it does you. We don't know the guy. Proximity.
Right.
What?
Yeah, makes no sense, but it's perfect.
That blew my brain. That was good. I'm glad you picked that. Superlative. We finally get to it. This is the tension of this whole episode.
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, because that's really, so our superlative this week is favorite death scene. And really that's what this whole movie is. We're stringing along a bunch of set pieces for these deaths, and they're all so good. They're all amazing. So I'm very curious what your favorite is here.
There's so many different reasons, and there's an obvious one if you've never seen it. I think we're definitely going to go over the honorable mentions, but I think I'm going to go with the second time the tire head girl got killed from the outside. I thought that was the perfect way to and then the credits pop. So like the first thing happened, she's such a jerk. She steals the flash. She's got the cord in. She's just wretched. And then she stands up and she gets killed. And you're like, oh, all right, that was good. And then it all happens again. And it was just so perfect. It's like, it's still Final Destination. Do they really get away with it? And then that 3D tire, which I'm sure looked amazing in the glasses, just come and just rips her head off again. So you're just like, nah. This is Final Destination. No one's getting away with anything. Sit down in your seats. And it was just like the perfect, all right, everyone get ready for this is that type of movie. I like those. That was just a perfect death to just like get the credits rolling and let's go.
Yep.
Second time.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. And it shows the range of the different deaths here. Because the one I'm going to go with is on the opposite end of the spectrum entirely. I'm going with the hair salon death scene.
Oh, nice.
So this is the tampon mom. And as quick and startling as the tire smash, this is the opposite. This is loaded with that tension. It's just the entire scene is just dripping with you got the fan, you got the goo on the floor, you got the scissors, you got the chair that doesn't work properly, you got this whole thing, and it goes through the whole haircut, and you're like, when is this going to happen? And it keeps almost happening, And then she just walks outside and gets hit with the rock, which was the opening to the scene that you didn't even think about at the time. I just love how it came full circle. I loved everything about that scene. Yeah, it was just a flawless final destination.
With your pick as the fake out scene, I think that's the best fake out scene in the movie. The chair pops down, and they do such a good job of all the little fears that we have of just like jagged metal scissors and whatever that it could poke into her, and her like screams and then the close call and how they brush it off. It's just like the perfect thing. It's also like an old chair, like, oh, I've been complaining about this for years, and they don't listen. So it all just is like, it's just perfect, and none of it happens.
Yep.
What are we at next year?
Oh, no, I do also want to just give a shout out, honorable mention. I loved the sort of one of the premonitions. This was another one of these deaths that didn't actually happen, but the escalator element of the movie theater mall scene. It was great because you got that first instance with the escalator and the shoelace, and you're like, whoa, is this going to happen when her shoelace gets caught? And then it doesn't, and you're sort of like, well, that's kind of disappointing. I really wanted to see what they were going to do with this escalator here. And then they give it to you later. It reminded me of the Texas Chainsaw 3D where you saw that meat grinder, and you're like, someone's going in that meat grinder. This was someone's going in that escalator, and they didn't hold back. And it was great.
It was such a good. It's one of those. I'm not even sure that's been in a movie before, but we've all felt it, and it was. Of course, it was perfect.
Everyone's been on an escalator.
Yeah, I almost picked the slow burn from the Racist Cowboy. I thought that was just perfect. I love the slowness of it, of the small. Like, so many things happen quickly, and his was just stupid mistake after stupid mistake, and then he's just like standing behind the truck, and the little hook has to get the back of his foot. He just gets dragged. He's on fire in front of everyone, and then George comes out of his house, and I love that look where he's just like, oh, that's awful. He's gonna try and save him. It's just like, all right, this is awful for that guy.
Yeah,
that was perfect. And of course, the butt train. I mean, the butt train might have been.
I mean, the butt train. The butt train is amazing. I mean, I don't even know how they thought that up, but it was so well done, and especially with the lucky coin clanking on the ground next to his insides.
I found myself watching that 3D premonition a ton. Just out of horrible curiosity, but I think that was a reference on the water park episode of Always Sunny. Like, don't put your butt on the drain. Bumper sticker lines. Favorite bumper sticker line from the movie?
So there were a couple I could choose from, but my favorite, because this is just could apply to anything, is the signs are everywhere. You just throw that on your car, and it's like whoever's behind you, they're like, yes, the signs are everywhere. I've been saying this for years. And it's sort of, it can apply to, who cares what it applies to? It almost doesn't matter. It's a mindset is what that is.
I like that a lot. Yeah, it'll build up everyone behind you.
Yeah.
I like these things are death traps. It was a security card about the escalators, but I think if you see that on the pad, you see it clear. These things are death traps.
Yeah, you have it on your like Ford Bronco or something, and it's just like,
heads up.
That's good.
I was close on I've been trying to kill myself all day. I thought that one was pretty good too.
That's one of those ones that you if you're looking for giving a wide berth around your vehicle, a good one to slap on your bumper.
This might be the shortest one length. Too short, perfect, or too long?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think it was really, really ideal.
82 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah, and even the abruptness of the end, I thought was perfect. Yep. That's this whole thing. It's like once it's over, it's over. Yep. And the last people, they all get hit by that truck, boom, and then roll credits.
We had all the tension, we did all the slow stuff, and now it's the end of the movie. These people are dead. They're dead the whole time.
No fat on it.
One change to be a blockbuster. Oh, what do you got?
I really struggled with this because I think this is an almost perfect film for what this is. The only thing that I would change, and this happens in a lot of these movies, is the opening credits are just way too long. Yeah. So I guess when you asked if it was too long, I'd say it's like 45 seconds too long. The opening credits, I don't know, a minute and a half. I mentioned this before, the credits here, they're rolling through mean, it's kind of cool. They're rolling through these sort of X-ray vision or versions of deaths from other Final Destination movies. But I found it kind of confusing the first time I watched it too. Because I was like, are these all look familiar from the other movies, but why are they being referenced for this movie? It seemed out of place and went on for way too long. I'm not a huge fan of the like metal music as well, but I know that sort of, that's neither here nor there. But I think they just got to shorten that. It just went on for way too long.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, the metal music seems to be a byproduct of these 3D movies in that era.
Yeah,
there's a lot going on then. Yeah, I mean, it is a blockbuster. I was going to make some changes, but I actually just want Tony Todd involved for this blockbuster. I just want him. He had to miss it because of the Transformers taping going on at the time, but this is the only one that he's not in, and it's tough that it's the until the new one. I assume he's in it. It was the most profitable movie, so I would just put him in it. I assume he was going to be George's role, or I mean, that's what they seemed, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, he always finds a way of popping up in these movies. I'm sure that they easily would have found a good place for him.
Yep.
And he's such a presence. Like you do feel like you're missing it.
You need the voice. There's so much wisdom in that voice.
Yeah, absolutely. Spinoffs.
Spinoff ideas.
So mine's pretty generic. It took a long time between the fifth movie and Bloodlines, way, way too long. And I love these movies so much. I'm saying, make this a TV show. I like all these movies so much. I can't imagine not wanting to watch as many as I possibly could. Put it on Netflix, put it on whatever, have it be like an hour to an hour 20. Was one of these things that has 8-10 episodes a season, and just churn these things out. It is such a winning formula. I want to know what my limit is of how many of these I can watch, because I haven't seen the newest one yet, but I've seen all the others, and I just want more. And the best way to do that is just churn it out in a TV series. The only hesitation is, I did watch all of these a few years ago, back to back to back, and I did find myself observing the world differently after watching all of those. Like I would just walk into a room and I feel like I'd be scoping out all of the weird ways that I might die just from walking into anywhere. And this lasted a few weeks. So I guess I worry a little bit about that, but it'd be worth it.
It's like the opposite of a ninja, where you go into a room and 8 ways to kill someone. You're just like, oh, I know every way I can die walking into this room, and just terrified.
Yes, 100%. And this really happened, and it was hard to shake.
Yeah, it's like when you play Grand Theft Auto too much back in the day. You're like, I can just steal cars and punch people, right? That's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the answer, and you took it one step farther. I said more movies. I don't understand. Like, it's really hard to come up with a spinoff when that's all they keep doing is spinoff. So let's just keep doing it in different settings. And the main thing is really just like pick the setting. All that matters is like, this was racetrack, there's plane, just this is a setting movie. Mm-hmm. Pick a cool setting for the next one, and that seems to be all that matters. Put them in Antarctica, put them in crazy scenario. Who knows? Put them in the ocean on a ship, whatever. Just put them in different places.
Space.
Yeah, space. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's use space ways to kill people. Let's use the environment to kill. So my spin-offs are just more and use the elements.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's so many things. You could go back in time. Oh. You could go into the future. You could go in a different country. Like, you could have more animals involved. I don't know.
This is why we need a TV show. We can cover all. We need to just pump these out. And there's no way this couldn't just be pumped out so quickly, too. The formula's already there.
Right. I mean, one whole season could just be every episode is a different decade. You start with like 1900. It's people like getting run over by horse-drawn carriages or something.
Yeah, churning butter accidents.
Yeah.
A lot of well issues, I bet.
Yeah.
All right, we're on Tying Up Loose Ends, sponsored by Training Ties.
Let's see. I did get a little bit of Maud Flanders nostalgia from this movie, from The Simpsons, who met an untimely death at a racetrack. I think it was a T-shirt cannon that got her, but similar idea.
What age are these people? Are they just post-college? Are they 30? What are we doing?
I was wondering that as well, because at first I was like, oh, these are college kids, but then they were like living together, and I think post college is my thought, but
24?
It's a little ambiguous.
Yeah, it's just post-college. It's very strange. And then they're talking about, like, it's about time we do the things we've been saying we're going to do. Calm down, guys. I think you just got out of college.
Right. Yeah, right. And it's things like going to a car wash. Like, I feel like when I was just out of college, I was never going to a car wash.
No, of course not.
Maybe these are just sort of like old soul type people.
I don't know if this was wrong of me, probably, but I laughed when George wasn't dead on the rope. Yep. I don't know what that was. He's just like angry. He's like, get me down.
Yep. There was something that made me really thankful we have now was that the shot where at the pool where the phone gets wet and he can't get a phone call because his phone got like a little splash of water. This used to be our reality. Yeah. I mean, you remember you know, you had your phone in your pocket and you were sweaty and suddenly your phone didn't work and you're putting it in rice or like doing all these goofy things. Now you can like bring your phone scuba diving. It's insane. I'm so glad they finally figured that out.
Right. It's about time. Whose death would you take? If it's inevitable, you're going to go, which of all of the deaths in this movie of the main characters who ended up dying, who are you taking?
I mean, I feel like the obvious answer is just one of the last people with that getting hit by a truck. Boom, you're done. Just I'm at a coffee shop. I'm with my friends. I'm having a cup of coffee, and boom, I just get hit by a truck. That's fine. I certainly don't want my insides ripped out in a pool vent. I don't want to. I know this didn't happen, but I don't want to like drown in my car. I don't want to get mangled in a escalator. But I guess it's like getting hit by the truck, getting decapitated by the tire, any of those like, quick and
I took
relatively painless.
I'm going George just because he didn't have that second of realization. The other ones at least had that like, oh no. George was like, hey, that's how you want to go, I think, in life. You're gonna go just like that. Done. He's roadkill, done.
I also loved that scene because the main character had the benefit of going through it once. But if you're just a passerby, you see this guy walking, talking to his friend gets just absolutely pancaked by an ambulance, and he just like walks off to go do something else. He's like, "Oh, my other friend." There's no concern for George.
I've already processed this death. It's all good.
He's not even surprised by it. I thought that was hilarious. I thought another thing, there's definitely some sort of symbolism about actually blowing up a movie theater in a movie. I don't exactly know what it's saying. I'm sure someone else could tell us that, but there's something there. I also do really like that, and we read some of these in preparation of this episode, but there are quite a bit of scholarly looks at this series. I think this is because of, I don't know, the determinative nature of the series or how it is. There's been a lot of really interesting intellectual pieces on these movies, which is kind of crazy because it's a pure popcorn film that I think a lot of people don't take very seriously. So when these professors and other academics and high thinkers start to pay attention to this, I think that's pretty cool.
It's fun when silly-ish stuff, grand scheme of things, gets taken very, very seriously. I mean, that was part of the fun of having our author on Showgirls, right? It's taking that seriously, a serious look on a movie like that, and that's kind of like the fun of a movie like this. And I think once you get fate involved, it gets people going. Like, were these deaths predetermined? Did they change anything? Does life matter? Is everything predetermined? I think, and then people like get really involved in this because it's some really questions with a lot of depth to it. So it is cool when you get really scholarly articles and things to read on something silly like Final Destination death movie.
Yeah, right.
I think that's all I have for notes. That was awesome. You got anything else?
That's it.
All right. So next movie, we're going to do a summer blockbuster. We've done Roland Emmerich before, right?
We've done a few. We've done two. What have we done? 2012, Day After Tomorrow.
Yep. Well, we have a summer blockbuster from 1998, Roland Emmerich's Godzilla, the big Matthew Broderick versus a big lizard in Manhattan movie that I loved back in the day, but the critics and audiences apparently didn't.
Yeah, no, great trailer for this movie as well. Amazing trailer.
Yeah, popular song at the time too. That was in it.
Absolutely. So
right,
I can't wait to get into this. I remember watching this in the theater and watching it a number of times back in the day. So looking forward. It's been a while since I've seen this one too.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be good. This was awesome. Until next time. Later.
Later.